This video exposes who's really behind the killing of Yevgeny Prigozhin, the founder of the Russian private mercenary group Wagner, his number two man Dmitry Yutkin, and five other lieutenants. Hello friends, this is Unmasked Truth with Harmanjit Saini, where I provide unique analysis of world events based on the unmasked truth that after surrender, Germany continued World War II clandestinely and became a killing machine. I also provide true news that you will find nowhere else. On Wednesday, August 23, 2023, Russian officials said that all 10 passengers aboard a private plane, which included 3 crew members, were killed in a crash. Evidence points to the plane being downed rather than crashing due to mechanical failure. Yevgeny Prigozhin, head of the mercenary group Wagner, was on board the plane with 6 of his lieutenants, which included Dmitry Yutkin, the number 2 man of Wagner, Valery Chekalov, Wagner's logistics expert who also managed all of Prigozhin's civilian projects abroad, and Yevgeny Makarian, who was reportedly wounded while fighting with Wagner in Syria. Other 3 members of Prigozhin's party were probably his personal bodyguards. Prigozhin had led a brief mutiny in June 2023 against President Putin and Russia's defense establishment. All quote-unquote experts point to the deaths being orchestrated by President Putin in retaliation for carrying out that mutiny. They claim that this is the pattern followed by Putin in dealing with those who dare to defy him. His opponents end up either being defenestrated, poisoned, or disposed of in other ways. My assessment of President Putin is quite different. He is a true Russian patriot. Those who have wound up dead have either harmed or looted the Russian state and likely committed murder to achieve their gains. Once their deeds were discovered, the right punishment for them was to be summarily executed by vanishing without a trace or being defenestrated or poisoned. And they were likely all German masqueraders. The USA, Britain, and France are doing exactly the same to those who murdered white adults and or children of non-German ancestry. I regularly report the deaths of such celebrities in my videos around twice a month. There are other details about the killing of Prigozhin that don't match the way people who harmed the Russian state vanished. All those people were killed individually. In this case, 7 Wagner people and 3 crew members were killed. Certainly, many of these were innocent people who had committed no crimes. President Putin would not have ordered any assassination of one man this way. This points to the assassination being carried out by some other cold-blooded killers who do not value human life, or by an enemy of Russia. When I first heard the news, immediately retaliation by President Putin came to my mind, but I dismissed that thought very quickly. Too many things didn't add up. First of all, Prigozhin was flying from Moscow to St. Petersburg. Therefore, he was operating freely inside Russia, moving around Moscow. If he suspected any bad blood between him and Putin still existed, he would not have been operating from inside Russia. Therefore, this could not have been an assassination attempt by President Putin or by Russia's defense establishment. Any differences following the mutiny, quote-unquote mutiny attempt, appear to have been fully patched up. CBS News reported some questions being asked by others as well. Putin has a habit of belated revenge, said Samuel Ramani of British think tank Rusi, recalling that Alexander Litvinenko and Anna Politkovskaya were killed in 2006 after criticizing the Chechen War in the early 2000s. Prigozhin's death unfolded much more quickly than usual, he added. That does not fit the pattern of deaths of other people deemed enemies of the Russian state. An example is Alexei Navalny. He is rotting in prison and was allowed to continue criticizing President Putin for many years before he decided to put an end to his activities. Further questions were asked by figures including former US Ambassador to Russia Michael McFaul. Why did Putin choose to kill Prigozhin in such a dramatic way? Why did he allow Prigozhin to meet with African leaders during his St. Petersburg summit last July? He wrote on X. This clearly points to Prigozhin being fully rehabilitated and continuing to work to utilize his global contacts on behalf of the state. What's more, why are Wagner loyalists allowed to pop off about revenge on social media now? He, that is Ambassador McFaul, wondered. Because of these reasons, I immediately ruled out the assassination being carried out at the behest of President Putin or the Russian defense establishment. That left 3 other cold-blooded killers as potential culprits. First was German masqueraders in Russia, but I immediately ruled out that possibility. While German masquerader soldiers in the Russian military would have a motive for killing Prigozhin, I would not expect them to have the means to bring down the aircraft from 28,000 feet high in the sky. I believe Russia has full control over its military, and very little of it is in the hands of German masqueraders. The other 2 players who could have carried out the assassination are Germany or China. Both have demonstrated their ability to bring down military and civilian aircraft from the sky. Then I considered the division of responsibilities both have made to carry out their enterprise of conquering the world jointly. China has assumed the task of provoking a war with the United States, whereas Germany has taken on the responsibility of provoking Russia into conflict. China did its part by bringing down 2 US military Osprey aircraft and 2 helicopters, killing about a dozen US servicemen. US retaliated by downing China Eastern Airlines flight MU 5735 on March 21, 2022, killing all 132 people on board. Germany provoked Russia into a war with Ukraine when the Nazi Zelensky agreed to German and Chinese nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons being installed in Ukraine to be used against Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine but has been content with killing German masqueraders, thus people of German ancestry living in Ukraine. Germany asked China to attack Russia. China moved its military closer to the Russian border but then got cold feet and told Germany to stick to its end of the bargain and continue provoking Russia. Germany did so by sending in its own troops to Ukraine to fight alongside Ukrainian troops. Germany has also been escalating the conflict by launching drone or other weapons attacks deep inside Russian territory, even close to Moscow, doing some property damage but killing only a few. Russia continues to retaliate inside Ukrainian territory, killing civilians and military personnel. Therefore, after learning of the news of the killing of Prigozhin and his associates, within a few minutes, I came to the conclusion that this was an assassination carried out by Germany, using its latest weapons technology instead of missiles to bring down aircraft. I have confirmed with my sources that the assassination of Prigozhin was indeed carried out by Germany to continue to provoke Russia into broadening the conflict, to perhaps force it to be the first to use tactical nuclear weapons. Germans have no qualms about killing innocent people because they believe that they only have the potential to be divine, whereas the rest of humanity is like mere cattle created to serve them and does not have the potential to become divine. Therefore, it is no big deal if they are killed, just as cattle are slaughtered. Now the important question is, how will Russia respond to this latest extremely serious provocation deep inside Russian territory to escalate the conflict? Perhaps Russia might assassinate some very high Ukrainian military and civilian leaders or high-level German military targets in Ukraine if they are present. Or Russia may strike at military officials inside Germany. We'll just have to watch what develops. Meanwhile, China is trying to draw the USA into a war by using other nations or warlords to provoke a conflict. It is trying to use India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to start a civil war in the Manipur state in India with one group, the Kuki tribe, backed by militias from Myanmar, hoping that Modi will send all the sick soldiers in the Indian army to fight, killing all of them. But I doubt if this attempt will be successful because I have warned Modi that the USA will begin retaliation by assassinating India's top general and then down the line, as well as India's top political leaders beginning with him and top business leaders beginning with his cronies Ambani and Adani from his home state of Gujarat. We will have to see how Narendra Modi acts. China is committing other provocative acts around the world to start conflagrations in many areas in Africa and Asia. It has orchestrated the civil war in Sudan. It is using Iran with it through its Houthi proxies to trouble Saudi Arabia by smuggling tens of thousands of Ethiopian immigrants. It is constantly harassing Taiwan and South China Sea, coastal nations in Southeast Asia, hoping that the USA will get involved in conflict with China by retaliating against its provocations. Expect such provocations by Germany and China to continue to achieve their goal of starting the Third World War between the USA, British Commonwealth nations, Israel, and their ally the Punjabis against them and their allies. Watch how Russia retaliates against Germany for the assassination of Prigozhin and his associates. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please continue to watch my videos on important world events, World War III watch, politics, international business, how Bible prophecy is playing an important role in world affairs, advice on health and medical problems, and much more for in-depth and insightful analysis. Please also subscribe to my YouTube and Facebook channels Unmasked Truth with Harmanjit Saini to view and get information on the latest videos.